So, last week I took the bus and went outside the city center, closer to the sea, and I brought with me my Sony a7C II paired to my trusty 35mm f2.8 Zeiss lens, and the goal was to have a day of photography in the quiet streets of Hiroshima. I mean, a day is maybe a bit of a stretch, because really my intention was to start early, when it is not yet unbearably hot outside, and try to stay out until just before melting away, basically. But luckily for you, you won't have to experience the suffocating heat watching this video, while still enjoying the beautiful light and the general atmosphere of summer in Japan. As I went off the bus, I quickly noticed that I might have chosen my day well. The light was very nice, bright and almost textured with a tiny bit of haze, and to warm up I took a shot of this little storage thing. A really simple subject, but what I like was the light coming from the left, so I positioned myself more on the shadow side to play with the shadow and highlights to add some depth. And then there's that pop of red coming from the cone, which gives a nice contrast against all the muted tones around it. What I'm trying to do here is a rule of 3 shots with these 3 bus. I'm not a big fan of that car here, but yeah, you can do much about it. But what I'm careful about is this here. It says like Iwami Ko something, Ko 2. But if I'm standing here, it's fine. But if I were to move a little bit here, then we'd have another character popping and being cut right in the middle. And if I were to move somewhere like this, then that character would also be cut in the middle, which doesn't look very nice. So I'm trying to find the perfect position to have this character like fully in the picture with a little gap on the right side. It's nice here. We have only 2 tones, like white and blue. I like this scene for its industrial mood. The stacked metal cages on the left, the heavy warehouse in the background, and with good light you can make such things look nice. I waited until this scooter cut through the space, adding a bit of a human element and breaking the rigidity of the light. Again, positioning myself like that and shooting almost backlit helped to create more depth and layers in the scene, with foreground, the gate and the scooter and the warehouse in the background. After that, I started making my way to the Yoshijima Tsuri Park, a location that was featured in the movie Drive My Car. It's a shame I came here, and a good part of it is under construction, so I mean, this is not as it's supposed to look, but let's grab some shots anyway. What I liked here was the quietness of the scene. Just this kid fishing by the water, dwarfed by the wide space around him. His red cap gives a little pop against the muted background, and his shadow on the ground almost feels like a second character in the frame. But I have to say, I am not very happy with the way his head blends into the top of the railing. If I had crouched down a little, I could have created more separation and made him stand out even more, I think. I'm usually not a big fan of flat lighting when the sun comes from behind the photographer, but in this case the morning light and the haze work together to create a soft atmosphere, almost making the pier and the crane look like they are floating in space. The calmness of the sea and the minimal color palette add to that quiet, weightless feeling. I went for this letterbox crop to minimize the amount of negative space on top and bottom, so the final image is a bit more focused. I was still facing that side of the landscape with that flat lighting, but if you know me, you know that I don't pass up a chance for a rule of 3 shot. This floating feeling is less present here, but still, the color palette is nice, I think, and I like the synergy between the 3 subjects, with the boy focused on fishing and the dad and the daughter setting up another fishing rod, I guess. The good thing is that there's still some people around doing fishing and all that, so it's pretty interesting to witness and photograph. I find this landscape pretty interesting to look at, and I moved and found a position where there's a good blend of these industrial things and the little mountain behind. If I were like more to the right side, the mountain would have been hidden behind this, And actually I think I can move even further to the left side to try to have this mountain more like in the middle between this tower and here this industrial complex. So I will try to find a better position. I think we are pretty good here. Actually, if we observe, the mountain is like popping from like the corner here. So if I zoom in, yeah, you see there's this little corner, and it's like the continuation of that corner is the mountain. So I think that looks pretty good. So I will grab a shot. What I paid attention to here was the position of the four figures. They were moving around and always overlapping, but I waited for that little window where they were all nicely separated. It's not a groundbreaking shot, but it is just to say that it is the kind of thing that I pay attention to, that I believe can really help making a shot more intentional and easier to understand for the viewer. I found this perspective pretty interesting, and by tilting my camera a bit, you could have something, yeah, that looks decently good. But the problem is, like, the center part here with the water is too big. There's way too much negative space, where then you end up with a frame with something of interest here in the foreground. Then you have the background with the landscape and the industry, but that centerpiece is just like, yeah, here for nothing. And when you play with a negative space, it works well when you have a lot of it, like, I don't know, somewhere at the top of the frame, and then you have like your main point of interest at the bottom, or like vice versa. But when you have such big negative space in the middle and a little point of interest on the top and at the bottom, I'm not sure it works the best. I was drawn to the simplicity of the lines and textures here. The metal wall has a nice gradient of wear, and the patch of grass in the foreground softens the scene, adding a natural contrast to the hard industrial surfaces. It's a quiet shot, but I like the contrast between the man-made structures and nature creeping back in. Going for a slight tilt here, and I also grab a vertical. Here I like to have this slight angle on this supermarket, but if I go too much on the right side, you see that the awning here is like overlapping with the characters here in green, so yeah, not the best. So I just have to play with the limit, not being like really at the limit, because then it's there's no like separation between those two. So if I stand here, the awning and like the sign of the supermarket are separated, and I have this slight angle that works better. Here there's an obvious like color combination with the yellow and the blue. Works well. Like the shop is closed, which makes the scene even more yellow with the shutters that are yellow. If it was open, like, yeah, it would have been nice, but aesthetically speaking, I think it works well now. What caught my eye was yet another colorful awning and the way it cast that reddish light underneath. I kept the awning on the right side of the frame for a simple, balanced composition that works well here. The black car grounds the scene and contrasts nicely with the warm glow above it, I thought. There's something about summer light that I really love. This kind of brightness you just can't get in other seasons. The light is strong without being too harsh, which makes such simple scenes look warm and alive. Of course, it comes at the cost of a lot of sweat and sunburns, but that's part of the deal, and I'm willing to pay the price. What I liked here was the geometry of the streets converging on this little white house in the middle. It becomes the anchor of the frame with all the power lines and buildings leading the eye towards it. The mix of textures, old walls, concrete, greenery pushing through gives the scene that everyday Japanese neighborhood feel that I love capturing. So I'm shooting a photo of this little shop with the green awning that is pretty nice, and the car that is nicely lit by some sunlight coming from the left side. And here there's two things that I have to be careful about. I'm shooting at 15 meters, so let's jump into 15 meter equivalent. And the first is that I'm using this building here to cut a little bit some visual noise on the right side, but I have to place it in a way that this white thing and this gap get closed, but not much more than that, because then I still need like enough of this like tile brown thing here. And then once I'm okay with the right side, I have to take care of the left side. Here, I'm not a fan of like how it ends up. Here is the door. It's not very clean, so I have to tilt my camera a bit like this. And now I have my final composition. On the left side, we are pretty clean. Things are cut, but nicely cut. There's no like a weird gap. Here we have like something nice happening here. A little bit of foreground. Still, our subject is pretty well centered. So yeah, I think this composition works pretty good. I've taken already many photos of this little mountain today, but here is probably one of the best of the day, I guess, because there's this how to call them, wave breaker, like breakwater or something like that, like to prevent like big waves to crash against the land, and they are forming some sort of a leading line coming from the left side. I like that it's coming from this angle, from the corner on the left side, towards the center and towards the mountain, and it adds a bit more texture than a straight like leading line coming from a railing or something like that. It's slightly curved too, so yeah. We also have like the other little mountain in the background, creating more layers, and it looks pretty nice. I had a lot of fun shooting this little mountain in the background. It's nowhere near as majestic as Mount Fuji, but the approach is the same. You walk, you look for new angles and find ways to combine it with other elements in the frame. Here I liked how it lined up with the low sun, matching that soft blue summer aesthetic. And of course, it's a nod to the famous low sun plus Mount Fuji shot, except here you don't have to fight with tourists to get it. I quite like the composition we have here. We have like three distinctive elements on the foreground, kind of middle ground and background. You have this little barrier, like stop sign, saying that bikes are not allowed. And you have those two little rocks and the like mountain chain on the background, and like this nice like curve that makes an S here to lead the eye throughout the composition. And it's a simple yet kind of complex composition. I was honestly about to call it a day just after lunch. The heat was getting more and more uncomfortable, but I told myself, let's just push through another 10 minutes and see what happens. Those 10 minutes turned into almost 3 more hours, and I'm glad I did because I came away with some of my favorite friends of the day, basically all the ones I got from Closer to the Sea and the lighthouse. And these final shots of the soft greens under the summer brightness feel really calming and concluded the day nicely, almost like a little reward at the end of the walk. So I hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching and supporting the channel with likes and comments. It's always very much appreciated. So see you in the next one. Bye.